Let's start Lab 100 by logging into the Oracle Cloud. We'll enter our cloud account name along with our username and password. Once logged into the OCI console, let's navigate to the Identity section and generate an authorization token for our user. Let's click Generate Token and be sure to copy the token for use later. Now we're going to navigate over to Object Storage to create an object storage bucket. Be sure you're in the AppDev compartment first. Let's enter a bucket name. Once the bucket is created, let's upload our data pump export file we downloaded earlier from the link provided in our lab guide. Once uploaded, let's get the URL for the data pump export file, which we'll use later when loading the data. Now we will navigate over to the Autonomous Transaction Processing section. Let's select our product catalog, click on the Tools tab, and click on Open SQL Developer Web. Here, we will log in with username admin and the password we entered when creating the ATP instance. Once signed in, we're going to execute a series of SQL commands. The first one will be to create the alpha user and grant them the data warehouse role. The next statement will be to create the DBMS Cloud credential, which leverages your cloud username along with the authorization token you generated earlier. Lastly, we're going to execute a PL/SQL command, which leverages the data pump API. Here we're going to load the data pump export file into the product catalog ATP instance. Once the PL/SQL command is executed, we can monitor the status of the data pump job by running the following SQL. Here you will see it's in a state of executing. Once finished, the data pump job will be in a state of not running. To validate that the data has been loaded, let's refresh the browser. Let's select the alpha user, and here we'll see all the tables that were loaded. Let's drag the products table into the SQL worksheet and issue a select command. Here we will see data within the products table. Now we'll sign out of the SQL Developer Web, navigate back to the Autonomous Transaction Processing area, and let's select the User Catalog instance. Again, we'll click on Tools, Open SQL Developer Web, and log in with the admin username. Once signed in, we'll execute a series of SQL commands again. First, we'll create the alpha user and grant them some roles. Next, we'll create a couple tables. And lastly, we'll verify that the tables were created. Let's select the alpha user, and we'll see that there's two tables, the requests and users tables. Now, as an optional step, let's grant the alpha user access to SQL Developer Web. Let's execute the following command. Once executed, we need to change the URL from the user admin to user alpha. We'll be prompted to log back in again. This time we'll log in as a user alpha with the password that we used when creating the user. And here you'll see you now have access to SQL Developer Web as the user alpha. This concludes Lab 100. Now let's move on to Lab 200.